Mic check. Yeah, it looks like I had to refresh the page a little bit in order for the microphone to work. Yeah, I had some technical difficulty with the sound, so I refreshed the page. I think now everything should be okay. Okay, we are now live. So, what we have going on since this morning? So, as you can see, we had a couple sideway action starting like 1 8:15. After it went into a long protraction here, went sideways for about let's see 8:18 all the way till 9:30. Um, all over an hour just going sideways. Then went lower below the early morning AM session, and it went all the way down until around 3:40 a.m. during the London session, at the peak of the London session. And after it did that, it did a long protraction going up and now going sideways. So what can we conclude from this? So is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? That's a multi-million dollar question. All right, so if I'm looking at the 1 hour, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the 1 hour to see where we are. And that is a messy 1 hour. You know what? Let's do this. A cleaner version of this. So on the Sunday afternoon, it opens up in my weekly prognostication. What I mentioned is that price will gap up and at some point later in the week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, make a relative new high, and then from then it'll probably scroll back lower if we are still bearish. But I don't think we are bearish yet, because what I'm looking at right now, price went lower below these lows here. I mean, it went really low. And now I'm looking at this relative equal highs here. This is the target. If you were to ask me long term, for the rest of the week, where would we go? I would say this relative equal highs here. That'll be my primary target. So let's put that like this. Now, it doesn't mean it's gonna actually get there. That means it's gonna move anywhere from 25.85 all the way until 381. So that's about 300 points. If there's an opportunity for 300 points, that's when or where I see it's going. So price gapped up, went sideways for a little bit, protracted up, then took a deeper dive, and we delivered into that gap for the new week opening gap here. Let me make sure I highlight this. So if you take a look at this one here, that's the middle gap. So price closed lower, then open up this way, dip into it in a little bit. So I think he got into the upper quadrant of that gap, and we're looking at the 1 hour here. So in the first 25% of that gap, it dipped into it a little bit. The bodies did not stay there. It's just a wick, and then it went back up since then. Okay. Let me make sure I can remove that. Yeah, so before you get into a trade, this is all the annotations that you have to do. You have to figure out, okay, where it's coming from, where it came from, what has it been trying to do, and then where is it trying to go next. And that next target that price is trying to get at, how far is it from it? Is it very close? Do we have a long way to get there? There's a way to figure that out as well. So let's see. Okay, so we have a big drop here. All right. So from the look of this, I would say we are in a premium right now. So if you're anything below that 50% from this to this, it's discount. This is a deep discount. And then from on top of here, this is a premium. This is where you like once you get into that level here, you will not see a whole lot of price movement going forward. It might just be going sideways a little bit, drop down a little bit furthermore, or very close to the 50%, and then keep going back up. If we're animating to go up. Okay, so let's get down, no, let's get up to the daily to see how we're doing. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of like what I think it is. Me personally, my next target would be this one. Before you even get to the top here, the middle of this candle will be my next target. If I can get anything, any price movement to go to this level here, I'll be content. Problem is, can you hold on for that long? Okay. So, what level is this? 25,197. So you always got to look at the daily because the daily is what's gonna give you a good prognostication of where the majority of the moves will be coming from. Okay. And as you can see, my chart looks a mess. because I make a lot of annotation, and this is probably the same thing you'll need to do for your chart as well. Make sure you take a lot of good notes. When you see certain patterns, you take a good note of it, you take screenshots, you record it, and then you're trying to see if that same pattern that you notice does it get repeated. You know, it's a good habit to have. It's a good thing to do. All right, so let us drop back into the 1 hour. So once you drop to the 1 hour, you see how far up you have to go. Lord behold, that middle of that green candle on the daily is right at the bottom of that swing low right here. This is usually, I usually use this swing low, especially if it's coming from the bottom here going up. I usually use this as a target. Okay. And if you are here, click the like button, subscribe, and make sure you leave your notification bell button on so you can see when I go live. Because over the next few days or so, I may just come live without scheduling one. It's because sometimes if I feel like the day is gonna be a good day to trade, it'll probably be a good idea to just jump into a live stream and take a couple trades. All right, so let's see here. I see a potential probability that it may, before it goes up to this level, it may drop a little bit more. How much further low? Yeah, so we're talking about this particular area here, this gap. I mean, not only I'm anticipating that it's going to drop into this gap, but also you have the new day opening range for the regular trading hours, which is about this long. So I will drop back into the 1 minute and I will show you what this particular field, that particular orange square, what it means. But yeah, let's make some annotation here. So that's a 1 hour gap. I can see it gets into. Oops. Potentially another one. There are too many of them. So sometimes when you see that many gaps, how do you pick the right one? I mean, if you ask me which the right one to pick out of this, I would say it's this one. To me, this is more significant. And what's the reason why I picked this one? It's because this is the last gap before it break this low here. Let's take a look. See this low right here? There's this low. Let me make sure I zoom in. So forget all this annotation here. So you got a low, a high, and a lower low here. Out of all this gap, the one that is most significant is this one in a 1 hour chart. This one is very significant. If price is very bullish, what you may end up seeing, since we're above this gap right here, you may end up dropping here and then losing back up very quickly. That is if price is very animated. But if it's lethargic, if it's slow, if it's sluggish, what you'll see is just gonna go past through it, come back up, use this one as a resistance, dip lower into this gap, probably get real close to the bottom of this one, and then keep zooming back up. So this gap for me is very significant. The next gap, if you don't see, if there is one, is the gap that is after it breaks below it. So let's see, I don't think we have any. So I think that might be the only gap I can see, and then this one, and then this one. Another significant gap, if there was one, would have been the gap the gap before this low right here. So when you're looking at a breaker, low, high, lower, low, there's usually three gaps you need to look out for. The one, the one gap before this low here, the gap before that low is broken, and then the gap after it is broken. So these three gaps, you really gotta pay attention to all three of them. And when I drop into a lower time frame, I will show you. There's plenty of example of those gaps. Okay, so this is what you do. You highlight it, you put it on your chart. Sometimes you don't know what this gap is for, so you gotta put an annotation here. So you put 1 hour gap. Okay. Or if you would like to be more specific, one breaker gap. Okay. And And the only reason why I'm taking my time to do this annotation is because price is not going anywhere. There's no movement. And the only reason why I know there will be no movement anytime soon, well actually it might be a time for a movement right now because it's within that 1050 to 1115. But it's because this morning it went really low and dropped and then it came back up. So with all this movement, now it's taking a break. Think of it as you running a sprint or a marathon. You run for a little bit and then you take a break. Run, and then take a little break, retrace, run, take a little break, retrace, run, take a little break, run. It's just the same concept, right? Okay. Oh, let's make an annotation for this one as well. Because sometimes what happened is if you don't make this annotation, you're gonna forget what is okay. You're gonna be like, okay, what is this gap about again? So kind of make a difference between the two. And this is what we'll do. Now we're gonna drop to the nitty gritty of stuff. Okay. Hot mess. So usually when you see this, price going sideways, when I first started trading, I used to see this and I'm like, this looks a mess. I don't like it. But now, as you get, more into trading, you start trading around a little bit. When you start seeing this, to me, this is good news. That means there's one way or the other, price is gonna go for like a huge price run. Now, the thing is, I don't know for sure which way it will go, and sometimes you can never know, but you may have an idea where it may potentially go. Usually, like if you see a setup like this, there's a high, made a high, and then fail to make another high, and get real close to make another high. So usually that will tell you, especially if it leaves some kind of gap here, it will tell you that it's more than likely going to go lower. But it gets tricky because it may do this and then start going very low a little bit, get into one of those gaps, and then retrace higher. So you gotta watch out for that. See, me, I'm anticipating that it's bullish, that it is going up. So all these movements here, I'm just gonna fade it. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. So what I would anticipate is because there are, let me see, one, two, three gaps here. It will more than likely go low into either this gap or this gap, and then start going back higher. Now the question remains: when is it going to do that? Okay, so we got a couple time windows we can target, and I think we are in one of those time windows right now. Let's see. 45, 11:15. So that will be the window of time that I'm waiting for it, and then everything before that I just stay away. Which is why I start my live stream at 10:30, because kind of give me some time to see the setup being formed. So right now, I'll just sit in my hands, just wait and see what's going on. But again, you might be surprised. It might start going lower and go significantly lower into the new day opening range gap, and then kind of close it up. This gap that I'm talking about here. So what is this gap about? Okay, so let me show you what is this gap about. This gap is when the regular trading hour closed at 4:14 p.m. the previous day, Eastern time, obviously. And then when the regular trading hours open at 9:30. So how do you get to your regular trading hour if you have a platform like NinjaTrader? Let's see. Let me go back. So you right click, data series, come on. And then you go into your trading hours. So you see ETH and RTH. ETH is electronic trading hours, and then RTH is regular trading hours. So you click on regular trading hours, and then you close it, and this is what you see. See that last time you trade, it says 17, but it's supposed to be 4. It's supposed to be 4:14, but no, we'll take 5. That's okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's supposed to be down to this level here. This is where it closed at 4:14. Right around that area right there. Yeah. So let me see if I can make an annotation of this, because that regular trading hours, this is the electronic hours when it's closed at 5 p.m. the previous day. So what I'm going to do is probably copy this, but it won't let me copy it like that because it's locked. Let's see. Oh, don't you like this beautiful color? And this is the thing that can get a little bit confusing. It's just like how many regular trading hours there are. So there's one at there's one at 4 that ends from 4:14 until 9:30 a.m. and there's another one at 5 p.m. and until 9 a.m. So there's two of them. So you don't know which one the price will refer to, but it's best to have both of them there. Yeah, so looking at this, 78. So it seems like when it went so much lower like this, it more respected the one that ended at 4:14 rather than the one that ended at 5. So that's why it goes backward. So let's see. So let me take it back to the regular electronic to the electronic hours so I can see the entire map of what's going on. I feel like that thing gets glitchy all the time. All right, let me lock it in so it doesn't move around by accident. Yeah, and this is kind of like really what it does. It's just gonna keep going sideways. And if you try to take any trade, it's just gonna chop you up because you don't know exactly what they're trying to do. I mean, I don't know. Most people don't know what they're doing, what they're trying to do next, but they know what they're trying to do next. Me, I'm just waiting for my play to come along, and then if it comes into fruition, that's when I execute. Oh, this is a high probability this is a high probability gap right here. So let's highlight this one too. Yeah, I definitely have my money on this one. Reason why is because you have a lot of confluences of things. So you have a relative equal high here, and then you have a gap that the next gap above that high. Also, you have a wick in front of that gap. So to me, there's a high probability that price is going to drop in here. Okay, so what is the best way then to engage this? If you have an idea where it's going, shouldn't you just go for a short? Sure, you can try that, but where are you going to enter? There's no gap. So there's this one. We can try to squeeze it into that one. If it's going lower. And yeah, that's the game, right? So if you're trying to go lower, you want to make sure you pull your trade up. You want to make sure you see that protraction up or price go up initially. That kind of a trick you that is going up definitely, and then you go short from here, and then it goes lower because it's been going up and up and up this morning. So the normal the normal natural feeling of things will be now it probably times to go lower. How much lower we don't know, but I'm anticipating this is probably the area where I'll take a rest stop from here. Let me also highlight a potential area where it may have a run into liquidity. Yeah, that's a thing. I'm gonna do it on a different color. As you can see, it's nothing exciting here. You just gotta sit and wait and wait. If you think this thing is going to be exciting, yeah, you need to do something else. Yeah, if you're looking for excitement, big price action, it just rarely happen. It's just like this is more like baseball. You wait, you wait, you wait, and then boom, there's a big move, and then by the time the big move happens, you miss most of it. And if you're trying to catch it or try to get in it, meaning chasing price, that's when you get hurt too. So I think I probably spotted that gap a little too late, but that's okay. We got many weapons here. Now, how would you feel if you were chasing price down, right? You you saw it going down and then you chased it and thinking that it's gonna keep going lower. How would you feel right now? Pretty crappy, right? So high, low, higher, high in wicks and in bodies. So is it a possible a bearish scenario? Maybe. Yeah. So that was a bear scenario. That's another mystery. I thought it would keep going up to give me an opportunity to go in. So we'll wait and see here. So if you were going short, you see this going, you say, oh crap. um, then now you may get redeemed right now. So now we have London closes coming up pretty soon at 11:30 a.m. And so we have the 10 a.m. lows. I don't quite see what the lows look like, but I can see a 10 a.m. scenario where price dip into this one. So between 10:50 and 11:15, there's some kind of like engineered price action that would engineer price to go in the direction of the buy scenario, aiming for the 10 a.m. high. So what I'm trying to say here. So we know now the scenario is bullish. Now it's been slightly going lower. So we have a 10-11 high here. Well, actually, we have a 10 a.m. high here, and we have a 10 a.m. low here. Let me highlight those. And then we have a 10 a.m. high. And based on our prognostication of the daily and the hourly, we know that price is more than likely going to aim for that one, at least for this one, and then the relative equal high at I believe 25 380 somewhere on top here. So what I'm trying to say here is that price may end up going either into one of those fair value gap, and then before or by lunch is going to target those 10 a.m. highs right here. So more than likely, I already miss my opportunity to go short. So now I'm gonna take advantage of the possibility that it may go long, and then I have a potential bullish scenario right here. I'm just waiting for price to just drop into it. Now, with that being said, I may be completely wrong. It may end up dropping into it and keep going much lower into the gap. That's also a possible scenario. Now, if that's a possible scenario where it's going to drop and lower, what you may end up seeing is just it'll just get drop here, and then we trace for a little bit, does not get animated or does not get any higher than that, and then the trade is gonna come and just collapse again. So it's gonna do like a little bounce and then come back down. That's why sometimes when I get into a trade, I'm thinking there's a possible bullish scenario, and you see me get in, and then I'll just put the stop right underneath it. It's because what I was expecting to see did not actually materialize, meaning that what I'm expecting to see is going to drop into this fair value gap and quickly retrace up. If I don't see that sudden movement and there's a lot of hesitation and a lot of back and forth, I just, instead of closing the trade, I said, all right, let me close at least with a little bit of a profit to cover my commission. That's pretty much what that is. See, I get into that gap and then it's weak. Let's just say, for example, I went long here and it dropped into that gap right here. This is the time where I just usually jam the stop loss all the way here and it'll just stop me out because I'm not feeling it right now. It did not give me the reaction that it wanted to go up. What I'm expecting price to do, if I were to go long on this gap here, I'm expecting price to go up and above this candle. See? That's what I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting that green candle to just go straight up and close above that candle. Since it did not do that, I'm very suspicious of the move that it may potentially go lower. And now that I know that it did not do that, I usually jam the stop loss all the way on top here. So this is all these little nifty tricks that you need to know that price does. And you just gotta, okay, so it's a if that scenario. Okay, if it does this, then I do that. If I don't see that reaction, then I have a potential mitigation plan. So always gotta have a plan and modify the plan along the way. So to me, what this tells me is it's a lot of lethargic reactions, and we'll probably have a better afternoon trading session. So see, like it's very lethargic. I mean, I despise trading in those conditions. And it's just so slow, so weak. You don't even know where it's going. It feels like it's going somewhere, but it doesn't. I usually, most of the time, I usually do not put any limit orders at all. I just wait and see. And then when it start getting animated or get into the area that I desire was going to get animated, that's when I'll just participate. But until then, I'll just stay away. All right, so the next thing to look into is also that level, is it at a discount? And I will say that's a negative, sir. So very likely that is going to get here and bounce back up. So it will more than likely not create the scenario that I want. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. So probably likely I'm gonna take my trade off and I'm going to see what it does here from here. So there's one of those clips that I dropped, I think it was last week or the week before, and I put patient is the secret sauce to the game or something along the line that when you're doing trading you have to be very patient. And this is what I mean by being patient. You just gotta sit and wait and identify the particular scenarios. Doesn't mean you just sit around and wait anxiously. You just gotta weigh out the pros and cons and see what's going on and then forge your plan. You don't just wait for the sake of waiting for it. You have a good plan, a good strategy, and then you just sit and weigh out to see the scenario that you're anticipating to come to fruition. And sorry about that. And that apply whether if you're trading into a demo, even demo, you have to be even more strict. Because if you're trading in the demo, you're thinking, oh, it's not real money. But the thing is, when it comes to trading with real amount or like a platform or a trading platform, what's gonna happen is what you used to do in the demo is gonna bleed into when you're trading with real money or with a prop firm. And this is where your result is gonna vary greatly between what you do in the demo and what you do into a platform or with your real money. Like when it comes to the demo, you have to be even more strict. You have to trade within very small capabilities. You have to trade with the lowest leverage, and then you have to be as realistic as possible, even more realistic. And then when your plans didn't happen, what happened? You have to make all these annotations here. You see how much annotations I have here? It's a gigantic mess. But this is all to help me navigate how to best trade. And even then, even if you do all of that, sometimes you're still gonna fail. There's no guarantee in this game. So looking at the price action from this low to this high, provided that we are still in the premium, provided that price did not like in that one candle did not get above it, even though it did it now. But at this point, I would anticipate that it get higher than that candle. See, it's a slow grind. It doesn't give me the response that I want and see. Which is why sometimes when you see me post some of those trades and then it just came out like a gangbuster, this is all the work that goes behind it. Now that I'm live, I'm kind of talk about it and describing it. But this is all the things I have to think to. Like think about it. If you chase price and then you went short, I mean, for from 11:12 all the way until 11:30, literally nothing happened. It just went back and forth and back and forth. And then it kind of gives you this hope that it's going to go like low for until really low for a long time. And then it just do that protraction and then retrace quickly. Yeah, you just gotta sit it out. There's still a possibility for me to go short. So let me take a quick short trade here for the live viewers because I know you guys come here to just see a couple of actions, right? So I have to demonstrate some actions. So to me, since we're still in the premium and since that green candle did not get above that candle, to me this is enough for me to say, hey, it'll keep going lower. So I put my trade here. But funny enough, you will see it will go up, get real close, and not get me in the trade. I mean, just watch. That happens all the time. It will get up, you'll get real close. You'll get like right about here, and then deny me the entry, and then boom, go lower. So for me to feel like it's worth it, so I can go short from here, the 8, and then I can get I can get close my trade right and then if there. But now at this point, the train has left the station. If it doesn't retrace up to go lower, forget it. See, it went against all the grain of anything that I anticipate and participate in. So between that time window between the 19th and the 33rd and 11:19 and 11:33, nothing happened. It did not run into liquidity. It just kept going sideways. And this is one of those session, and after the morning session, if I wasn't live, I would have just closed it and go do something else. And in the midst of that, this is usually why I usually miss trades, which is a bad thing, right? So you can't have it all. So when it starts going sideways like this, and none of my plans seems to be working, it's going lower than anticipated. It doesn't get back into that gap that I wanted to in order to go short. Um, so that green candle did not deliver above that candle here. So like none of the things that I planned for it to work doesn't work. This is when I'm like, you know what, forget it, and I just close it. Okay, so this is the high probability gap I was talking about. So it gets in there. See, lethargic reaction, will slow. Yeah, so this is the time. Okay, if it gets in right here like this, yeah, I usually just close even. I just close it because this is not what I'm expecting to see. But again, it will make sense because it's still in the premium, right? So, so he's gonna have a little bit bounce back up, and then he'll probably keep going lower into the discount section here. Yeah, it's going to be a slow grind. See, if I had my bullish scenario, you remember I had a buy to go long here. Yep, I'll be quickly underwater here. You see how I changed the plan so many times? So now, with that being said, which area in the discount where I feel like it may go into? Hmm. Yeah, things is a little bit dicey here because there's a gap here. Let's see, I think this one. Okay, so you did not get extended. Okay. So there's this gap. I'm anticipating that it may drop into it. Yeah, so once it goes below that 50%, forget any bearish scenario at this point. Now you just need to find a position, find a way where you can get into one of those gap to get into and then to go higher. Let me see. Mm, More than likely we'll get into the gap and go higher. Reason why is because um, this this low is lower than this low and this low, but still higher than that low. And yeah, it's a little bit jagged at the bottom here. So what price will do, it'll just get into one of those gaps here and that put in those bullish breaker scenarios and then we'll zoom back up. And you always have to leave an area, a margin of error. Why? Because you and I, retail traders, we do not control the market. Not Goldman Sachs, not Bank of America, even the big banks, they do not control this price engine. So let's another time here. I know the desire is to um, get into a trade at the lowest low without any drawdown. So if you want, see now I'm seeing the bullish scenario. See that reaction right here? This is what I want to see. Almost. Yeah, this is the type of thing I want to see. So more than likely, what you end up gonna see is gonna go up, touch this, and then keep going lower, like a price leg lower one more time. And once it go lower, it's gonna go up, and then get into that gap. And then this is in that time window between this time and that time. This is where I will get in. And I got plenty of time to get in for it to go up. So I got all the way up until here. See that? I slow down. You gotta watch the rate of these candles and what they do. See, yeah, it seems like it was speeding up, and then now here you go. Like, come on. went up with a lot of speed and then slow down already. Come on. The moment I saw the slow down, I'm like, it's more than likely it's gonna keep going back. It's gonna go back lower again. So yeah. So did I have a possibility to go short? Sure, I did. Missed them. That's okay because there will be another bus coming to the bus stop, so I'm not worried about that. Um, and also, I did not have any appetite for any bear scenario. I just wanted to take advantage of it. Now I'm really interested into going up. Okay, let's see what it does here. I mean, I give it some grace for it to go all the way down low here, maybe at that level right here. Um, 24,907. That's the grace area that I give. If it goes a lot lower than that, if it breaks below the low and doesn't retrace, I'm done for the day. And it looks like that's what it's about to do. So the lesson here is, what is your plan? How you go around your plan? If you miss a trade, do you kind of rush into it and try to rush into the trade and try to chase it? No, the plan is to never chase. And there were many scenarios here, especially one here where you chase it, it'll go up against you here, and it feels like it's gonna go up against you again. And that will add a whole lot of stress into your trade, right? So this is the kind of thing you want to avoid. So yeah, if I had one short here, if I had chased it, yes, I would have made a lot of gains. But there are other opportunities, right? And if I miss this one, that's okay too. So now that plan is busted. I mean, unless it goes really low, and then the bodies close at the upper half of this. Let's see, let's see. That's not going to happen. Doesn't seem like. Nope. Okay. Then lower is going. Right after 11:45, you're gonna see. You're gonna see price gets real animated, and I'm anticipating. I can almost feeling it. Right at 45. For all the sideways price action that I saw here, I was expecting a lot more animation on the downside. It didn't happen. It was more like a slow grind. And once you get almost to the 50%, that's when they accelerated. Alrighty, let's do something here. More annotations. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably gonna target that area. What a coincidence. So you see how price is just it completely it's like a coming out of stop. It's really slowing down. It's really slowing down. I mean, at some point, it's just gonna get boom animated. Yeah, it's like it's going at a high speed, high speed, high speed, high speed. Um, a little bit of reverse, and then speed, and then slowing down. What happens is it can accelerate down low, and then accelerate back up, or it's gonna slow down. It's gonna create a lot of wicks, a lot of candle, and then bam, up. Yep, and just like that, we might be into a sale program. So all that anticipation, all that talk, and at the end, it breaks your back. Alright, so it looks like there's more areas on the downside they may end up going. So now at this point, this is where I'm like, you know what? The bullish scenario, I don't know. It looks like it's dead. Let me try one more time. See what we got. I think it's gonna keep going lower. See all that hesitation. Yeah, if it was bullish, it would have been like a really huge big candle, like big up candle, and be done with it. Yeah, I think any possibility for bullish scenario is probably dead for the day. But you never know. What gap is that? It's probably the 1 hour gap. Yep. Yeah, it's probably gonna get deeper into that gap before it goes higher. Let's see. Now at this point, I can just close the trade and make back everything that I just lost previously. But I want to gain a little bit more. Part of me getting greedy. So I could have get a partial here, and I think I should have. See now at this point, without one partial, I made all the money that I just lost here. Literally. without just one partial. Now what I can do is kind of trail it up a little bit here, and then we'll wait and see if it's going to give it to me all the way up until that candle. I mean, that's asking for a lot. I think up till to the middle of that candle, I think should be fine. But if I'm expecting it to go all the way up there, that's asking for a lot. To be honest, I don't think it's that animated, but we'll see. Now I'm gonna show my stop loss here. The reason why is because price got here and then it retraces and then went back up. I do not see the scenario where it's going to come back down lower than this, but stranger things have happened. Now, this is again the part where I kind of like jam my stop loss all the way back in here because I'm like, okay, looks like it's losing steam. And you can see that it's losing steam, right? Because it did that big candle and it's already losing a lot of steam. Yeah, if I don't see another big green candle here, come on, come on. There you go. Come on, come on. So if I see another big green candle and it goes above this red line here, I'm moving my stop again. So what did price react to? This 1 hour that I noted it earlier. 1 hour bullish breaker, the gap before the breaker. See how significant that is? So I'm gonna show you in the 1 hour what that means exactly. All right. This is the part where I feel like it's targeting my stop loss just for the hell of it. So yeah, let me show you the 1 hour where what that means, how significant that is. Why it's always good to have a higher level time frame on your chart. And to always see which one of those fair value gap is more important. Remember I said you can get into that fair value gap, but I mentioned earlier this fair value gap is more significant because it is the gap before the actual break happened. And here we are. Like it literally got on top of that gap. So this is where I entered. I entered right here on top of that gap. And then it's having a nice little reaction. Now is it gonna go back all the way up? I don't know. I highly doubt it. I think it's just bouncing off and then just gonna roll back lower one more time. But at least it has a nice little reaction where you can take advantage of it. Moving my stop a little higher. So this is the fair value gap here. The low, high, and then the lower low. I don't care if it stopped me out at this point. I made all my money back from that loss trade earlier. So it's a nice little reaction from that fair value gap. I mean, it could have gone a lot lower. It could have gone to the middle of it, but it just got up at the top of it, at the top 25%. And they said, that's it. I'm going up from there. All right, so let's drop it into the 1 minute. See, that's problematic. That's real problematic. Like what I'm anticipating to see is keep going higher. Like even if it stopped me out right now, so I'm still out of profit. I just don't wanna jam it too close to it because it's still dancing around. And sometimes it feel like any other particular scenarios, it would have just gone up. But it's just that because you're in the trade, you feel like it doesn't do you the favor. Like, what? So if I'm not greedy, I would have just closed my trade right here, right now. But since I want to get every little last bit of a juice on it, so I'm keeping the trade alive. So we've been at it for about an hour and 28 minutes. So I'll probably just go grab something to eat and then just watch the trade pan out. I mean, at this point, there's not much you can do. It's just watch it, let it pan out, hands off, and then move the stop loss a little bit, and then just manage the trade from this point on. Yeah, so from 95 all the way to that's about 100 points if it gets to that level here, and I think it's gonna get there fairly quickly, a lot quicker than this. Because when you have all these troughs and all these ups and down, price usually just cut through it like a knife, like a hot knife through butter. So I'm gonna get a real close up, and I'm gonna make a quick annotation here. There you go. That's right. So up to this trade, up to that partial here, with that one partial, I made all the money back. And if I bring it like right above here, I mean I'm doubling, even if it stopped me out. So I'm gonna keep it like this, and I'm gonna delete some of these lines. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to, because what's going to happen is it's gonna use these gaps that I thought it was going to use to go up. It's gonna use it as a stepping stone to go higher now. What you're gonna see, price will get there, trade through it, will trace. The bodies are gonna remain within those gaps here, and then it's gonna keep going up. Nothing is wasted here. Everything is recycled. All right, so enjoy the trade panning out. 70 points at this point. Yep. And that's it. Always feels like you start getting your stop loss. But yeah, I kind of jam it up a little bit too high here. So that's why it tagged me out. But yeah, so yeah, getting into I made the money back, and so at this point, I think it will probably retrace a little bit lower. I have a high hinge, a high hunch that it's probably gonna cut through that 1 hour bullish gap. Yeah, because normally if you were going to retrace, I would expect it to remain contained within that gap here, but it did not. Maybe it'll just come here and retrace higher. I do not have my hopes up on that one. Let's see. Maybe I'll just get here and go higher. Let's see. Yep, that's probably what's going to happen. Again, I probably put my stop loss a little bit too high to close, but that's okay because I can always jump back in there, but I would not risk that chance at this point. Sometimes you gotta know when enough is enough, and you take what you got today. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe. I may go live again later on this week, more than by probably tomorrow or Friday. But I normally refrain from trading on Fridays. Yeah, leave any comments, any suggestion. Let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know if you'd like to see more explanation of what all these indications mean. Until next time, happy trading. Be safe.